Russia has launched a fierce response after Ukrainian strikes reportedly hit 4 Russian warships, raising fears of a major retaliation. Ukraine reportedly hit 4 Russian warships, prompting Moscow to strike back against key Ukrainian ports and military infrastructure. Ukraine's Black Sea logistics are coming under heavy pressure as Russian strikes hit Odesa and Chornomorsk port facilities. Moscow says it targeted Ukraine's military supply routes, striking a cargo ship, fuel tanker, and fuel storage depot. Zaporizhzhia has also faced another Russian drone strike, with fires reported as attacks hit critical power infrastructure. Kyiv's war machine is facing growing drone pressure as Russia targets supply routes and logistics infrastructure. Ukraine's long-range strikes are becoming bolder, raising questions over how far Zelensky can push Putin in the Black Sea. Russian forces struck port facilities in Odesa, Kyiv, and Chornomorsk on August 12, according to Russia's state-run TASS news agency. Russia's defense ministry said the attacks targeted military supply routes and key port infrastructure used by Ukrainian forces. In Odesa, Russia said it hit a military cargo ship, a fuel tanker, and a fuel storage depot during the overnight strikes. Russia also reported strikes on a Ukrainian patrol boat in Kyiv and fuel facilities in Chornomorsk, according to the defense ministry. A Russian drone strike set a hardware store in Zaporizhzhia ablaze, according to regional governor Ivan Fedorov. Putin's attack also cut power to about 1,200 consumers, while emergency crews battled the fire following the drone strike. A separate Russian attack damaged logistics facilities in Brovary in the Kyiv region, according to Ukrainian officials. Ukraine carried out a large attack on Sevastopol that left parts of the Russian-occupied city without power. Sevastopol Governor Mikhail Razvozhayev said the attack damaged energy infrastructure and disrupted electricity supplies. Russian air defenses, aircraft, and mobile fire groups were deployed as Moscow attempted to counter the Ukrainian attack. Ukraine said 4 Russian warships were damaged in a separate strike targeting the Novorossiysk naval base. The damaged vessels reportedly included 2 frigates, along with Buyan M and Vasily Bykov-class patrol ships. Zelensky called the Novorossiysk attack a unique operation targeting Russia's Black Sea fleet. The Ukrainian president said Kyiv used Palyonitsia jet drones, Neptune missiles, and naval drones during the operation. Ukraine also targeted Russian air defenses, piers, and port infrastructure as part of the attack, Zelensky said. Volodymyr Zelensky said, and I quote, "Last night, Ukraine's defense forces carried out a unique operation targeting the naval base in Novorossiysk, the last major stronghold of the Russian fleet in the Black Sea, more than 300 kilometers from the front line. Our Palyonitsia jet-powered drones, Neptune missiles, and unmanned naval systems successfully struck the designated targets. Hits on air defense positions, piers, and seaport infrastructure have been confirmed. I thank the warriors of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the Security Service of Ukraine, and our intelligence agencies for their accuracy and good results. The occupation fleet and all the infrastructure supporting it will not be safe as long as Russian aggression continues. The war must be stopped, and all reasonable proposals for diplomacy are on the table. Glory to Ukraine." Unquote. SLUG's British officials reportedly fear an unintended naval escalation could trigger a direct conflict with Russia, according to the Times. UK officials are reportedly urging military leaders to restore direct communication with their Russian counterparts to reduce the risk of miscalculation. Former UK Defence Chief Tony Radakin and his successor Richard Knighton reportedly sought contact with Russian General Valery Gerasimov. The UK and Russian defense ministers have had no direct contact since October 2022, highlighting the breakdown in military communication. Moscow has listed Britain among Western countries it considers unfriendly amid worsening relations over Ukraine. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said in June that Moscow was not opposed to maintaining contact with any country. The Russian frigate Admiral Grigorovich fired warning shots near a British yacht in the English Channel, according to reports. Moscow and London said the warning shots were intended to prevent a possible collision rather than signal a direct confrontation. A UK-Russia military hotline remains operational despite the broader breakdown in direct communication between the two sides. Russia has accused Britain of worsening tensions by supporting the 2014 change of government in Kyiv. Britain has become one of Ukraine's main military supporters since the conflict escalated in 2022. The UK has supplied Ukraine with Storm Shadow cruise missiles, which Kyiv has used against Russian targets. The forces and units of the Pacific Fleet are on constant combat alert, carrying out their designated tasks, and are capable of ensuring the security of the Russian Federation in the Asia-Pacific region. The military-political situation in the region is tense and shows a steady trend towards escalation. The main factors driving the rise in military and political tensions are the destructive activities of Western countries aimed at reshaping the security architecture in the Asia-Pacific region, their build-up of an advanced military presence, and the creation of new military and political alliances under Western control. These include the AUKUS and Triple Alliance blocs. New alliances similar to these are currently being formed, namely JAFUS, Quad and AJUS. In effect, these are military-political alliances. They are essentially elements of NATO, merely under a different guise. They conduct joint operational combat training exercises, the number and scale of which are constantly increasing. There is a clear trend towards the involvement of NATO's military and political resources in regional politics within the Asia-Pacific region. The escalation of tensions in the fleet's area of operations is also confirmed by the increasingly aggressive actions of Japan's military and political leadership. For instance, on July 4, the White Paper on Japan's defense was published, setting out the military and political leadership's course towards open militarization. Russia is identified as one of the threats to Japan. It is also stated that military spending is to be increased to 2%. Furthermore, the Japanese Defense Minister, Shinjiro Koizumi, has openly declared that it would be appropriate to abolish the 3 non-nuclear principles, which is something that cannot be allowed in our region. Hearings are also being held on the revision of Article 9 of the Japanese Constitution and the establishment of the Japan Self-Defense Forces. A major concern is the threat of the West blocking Russia's maritime trade with the aim of inflicting maximum economic damage on the country. I am aware that, as part of the 21st package of anti-Russian sanctions, the European Union has lifted the previously imposed ban on the sale of Russian hydrocarbons within EU countries. This grants EU member states the right, at national level, to adopt legislative decisions regarding the sale of hydrocarbons from detained vessels of the so-called Russian shadow fleet. In doing so, the European Union is seeking to provide a legal justification for its actions, which contravene international norms. In accordance with your instructions, Comrade Supreme Commander-in-Chief, we have carried out a detailed analysis of maritime traffic in the Asia-Pacific region. We know the routes, what is being carried, and whose ships they are. In the exclusive economic zone of the Russian Federation alone, along the islands of the South Kuril Ridge, 1,001 vessels passed through between April 24 and August 6, 2026. Of these, 379 were flying the flags of unfriendly states, including 273 dry cargo ships and 71 tankers, amongst which were 26 British vessels and 9 French vessels. At the same time, Western states are actively using vessels flying the flags of third countries to transport cargo in their own interests. In essence, this constitutes their shadow fleet. We have the capabilities to inspect and detain vessels belonging to unfriendly states and their shadow fleet. Interagency cooperation is well organized. We are ready to begin tackling these tasks. The report is complete.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.